Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Orme and today we are back with more FHM 6. We're at the draft at the end of Season 4. If you have not watched the Season 4 updates and the playoffs, go back and check those before you jump in here. You'll get an idea of what happened. Spoiler alert, it's on screen somewhere, so good luck to you there. But looking at this, I've written down the list of teams that didn't basically get to the playoffs. Those will be your 15 teams that will be in the draft lottery. I have not looked at the draft lottery. The picks that I think other teams have. I think Carolina has somebody's pick. Is it Dallas? It might be Dallas that they have. So technically, even though they're not in the lottery, they are. Because their pick isn't, but Dallas just missed out in the playoffs. So Dallas could be seeing them get number 1 overall and hand it over to Carolina, who made the playoffs. So really, we could have some fun here. Apart from that, I think everybody owns their own first, bar Minnesota, which we do own. We got that, I think, last year, the year before last, we actually picked that up. We had no idea that Minnesota were going to be bad. We knew they were lacking some top-end talent, lacking prospects, and aging quite quickly. So I felt there could be an opportunity with them and a couple others that I picked up. Of course, I also thought Ottawa there, Detroit are there. Those are some of the picks that we picked up. Kings, they were bad when we picked them up. They're now a playoff team. So it didn't work out in a lot of cases. The Knights wouldn't trade with me, but the Wild would. At this point, I'm thinking teams like the Capitals and the Jets may be good options. We can get some of their picks later on down the road. That might work out in our favor. But we banked on the Wild being one of the teams. We've got another pick as well. I'm not sure exactly who it is. The Kings. It is the Kings. Like I say, we got the Kings, Golden Knights. We managed to get those. So not great. And then a bunch of picks back. Again, there's some not really great teams. I wish I had the Rangers first instead of the second. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Those are our picks anyway. And for this draft, we got Ottawa. So that's a late second. We've got Chicago, which I believe is 14th going into this. I believe Dallas is the only team above them that didn't get into the playoffs. So Chicago, I believe, is like a mid-second. Kings, I think they finished top 10. So, again, it's probably like pick 20 or something back there. And right now, provisionally, that's the number 1 pick. So, I want to see if any draft lottery shenanigans actually went on. And if we actually move back. Because there's one player I like that I want to go for. If I can't go for them, I'm probably happy to take a pick in the 15 or 20 range. So I could always trade this back and get a lot of capital back for next year. Maybe get a mid-first for the Wild pick and trade back. So the one guy I want is a center, Bedard. He's not the best player, potentially, at least from what we can see, but he is the one that's higher rated than him, is a defender that I don't really like because he's not scouted, and I have this thing about drafting people that have a 9 or less in their stat block here. So you can see here, if you look at defenders, so Broberg's got 4 13s. If there's a 9 in here, that's kind of weak. I don't like drafting those players if I can help it. I'd rather not, because it takes too long to develop, and then the next year I might draft someone in the same position that's a year younger, that's similar potential, or maybe even less, but is far readier to come. So if they got multiple 9s, I'm out. 1-9 depending on the others. Like if it's a totally defensive defenseman with a 9 for offense, but he's got 12s or 13s of defense and physical, say 13s there and a 12 in mental, like that's a good enough player to ignore that. But this guy kind of isn't, and he is a defender. And the only reason I don't show him right now is because that would give away down in this section what the draft order is going to be. So I've got a little list of the teams and where they finished. Yep. Almost messed that up. I've got a little list of players I really like. And we'll see who's on the board. There's a goalie that I wouldn't mind picking up, but I don't need. There's a couple of wingers as well that I quite like, and a couple of defenders that I quite like. But there's one center, Bedard, that's the most ready right now, and he looks like a player we can go for. So last I checked, before the draft lottery, we had all these pieces in play. So we're number 1, Buffalo's 2, Montreal number 3. Wow. Wow. We get number 1. We do keep hold of the Wild's pick at number 1. I'm drafting Bedard. We'll show you why in a second. Golden Knights move up from, where did they finish? 23rd. So that is a jump of 7, I believe, up into second place. And then the Rangers jumped up 3 spots from 6 to 3. Wow. And everyone else moves down 1. Yeah, Carolina have the pick for the Stars, which means they're going to be picking pretty close. No? 27. Oh, they went deep. Or was that maybe just traded? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And the Islanders, I guess, have our pick. Where else are the Islanders picking? They're picking 31. We've got 28. It's a lot further back than I thought that pick was going to be for Ottawa. But then again, they did play well. Okay. So 28. Ottawa has 25. I wonder whose pick we give Ottawa. I can't remember. But the Islanders. They've got our pick at the back of the draft. And that maybe be it. Okay, a lot of picks have changed. But they do have 39 as well. So they can pick pretty much in a good space. We've got the Rangers, 36, 38, picking back to back. We're back on the clock at 40s. Right, I don't know who's going to be available. We saw play potential. Gustafsson I quite like. I think he's a solid defenseman. 212s, 10, 11, 4-star potential, 17, 6'2". You know, he's got time to develop because we've got our core that's nice and young right now. Spa, 9, 2 10s, and 11. He's 18. He's only 6 foot. He may have that potential. We haven't fully scouted. They're both risky, but I like Gustafsson a lot right now compared to Spa. So if he's still about, we might sort of swing on him a bit later on. But Bedard, him and Zima are the 2 big boys in this class. 2 14s and 2 12s. 2 14s and 2 13s. But Zima is a little bit lower down on my list. I'd still take him. He's NHL ready. Michkov is one of my top right wingers. I could take him. Fantilli, I like. Again, he's in that list with Crummins, McNamara. Barlow is quite high in that list. Peters out there. So I'm looking at ability and potential and how they mix together. Lind and Molnar. I quite like Molnar, actually. Yeah, I'm not a defensive guy, but 13s everywhere. And that's kind of what a lot of these centers turn out to be. McNamara's a bit different. Maybe that's why we take back the Mara if we can a little later on. But anyway, we're looking at the two factors: fully scouted, 4-star potential, most ready to play, like those stats, slightly ahead of where everybody else is. Spa looks weak. We just don't know about Gustafsson. I can only really take one guy. So, first of all, Connor Bedard, welcome to the Colorado Avalanche as the first overall pick, and welcome to the champions. That does not happen very often. If ever, that might be the first ever time it's happened. Certainly to me. Okay, I want to see if Spa goes now in the next few picks. So, almost finished that. So, Uldry, it's my number one right winger, gone right there. It's my number one right winger. We've scouted him, he's fallen down, but I don't know. I like the way he's fairly balanced in all sets of plays. He's got some good mentals. Yeah, he wasn't like high up on my list, but he was my top right winger. Michkov is number 2. So if we are going to pick a right wing, kind of down to like 3 or 4 names at best here. This is a forward draft as well. Let's put that out there. This is a forward draft. Apart from Spa, 1 goalkeeper, and then maybe a handful of defenders, which would be okay. It's really top heavy on forwards. Shouldn't be surprised. My number 3 left wing goes very early to the Rangers. Theodor Johansson. Now, he wasn't that high up on my list. I might have missed something there. Kellen Lind, good, solid centre. Frohock, the only left defenseman I really liked. That's okay. We got good young left defenseman. Fantil's decent. Maurice Rogers. Okay, we're losing players that we can pick here. Cuban, solid. My number 1 left winger. And Guskov, really? He's solid, but he wasn't my number 1. Hey. Okay. Marek's my number 1. Forsen's my number 2. Then we got Jones and Guskov at 4 and 3, really. So my number 3 went off the board. That's okay. So, yeah, Spa, Gustafsson. That makes me worry about Gustafsson as well as some of these 3.5 star players are going. But I don't know. But Spa didn't go at all. So what have we got? 28. It's a long way to fall. Picked until human. Spa does go. He goes 24th. He does go 24th. Nicholas Jones just went. He's my number 4 goalie. So my number 3, my number 2 is Marek. Stanek I didn't see at all. Let's go in the first round. Okay, so Guskov was my 3rd. Marek's my number 2. Jones was my number 4, which means my best goalie is still available. But so is Gustafsson. Sorry, my second best. Marek was my number 1. C6 there. Siernik, I like him. Tichy, turn on. There's so many centers. I think I can wait on centers. Now I got Bedard. The wingers don't drop off as much as the defensemen. And the goalies. There's only really one left that I liked at all. I mean, Blas as a defenseman, I thought could fit in quite well. Gustafsson on the left could fit in quite well. Killian, yeah, he's on my list. possibly going to have to give up some of these because we're what, 45 and 56. So after this is a whole round, pretty much. It's almost a whole round. Do I let the goalie go? So I think at this point, my top wingers are gone. My top wingers have gone. My top defenseman's gone. Next man up sitting there. I've got 2 right defenders I could take that I'd like right now. And then 2 more centers. I've got a goalie, I've got 2 defensemen, I've got 2 centers that I really like right now. So Bouncer is one of them. Where's the other? Has he been drafted? Svanstrom's gone. He went 15. Okay. So only got Balsa left if I want to take a defenseman I really like. Okay. Goalie, where's Forson? There he is. We lost Aganosa early. Yes, Uldry early. Frohawk's gone. Kubin? I think we saw Kubin. Yeah, Kubin went 9th. Yeah, we had options. Around 15, 16. Who would we have gone for? Possibly Molnar at that stage, I think. Yeah, quite possibly we would have gone for Molnar. Okay. Interested to see what Spa will turn out like. Where the 2 are sitting right there. More potential on Tichy. Better current player with Tuonen. They're both sort of 3rd, 4th line players in the making. Hopefully. I think Tuonen and Tichy have a defensive side. They seem to do right now. Pettier I do like as well. But he gets a lot more points. Or he has got a lot more points. So I'm scared he's going to be more of an attacker than a defender. And we don't need those players. We've got plenty of those players up front. We need defensive players up front as well. So, Bouncer's my defender. We've got a goalie, then I kind of pick him for a 3rd, 4th line center. We went for Bedard, who is he pure offense, did we think? Is he not pure? The mental's worrying me a touch. But there's a bit about him defensively. Maybe he's a 2-way, maybe more offensive, but maybe a 2-way-ish kind of player. It's kind of what we see. Love all these kind of bits about him. Yeah, I'm taking my time here because I know 20 picks are going to go by before the next guy goes. I'm tempted to leave the centres up there because we just got a centre. We've got a good centre core anyway. I think they're going to fall a little bit, and possibly like people like Peta and Sisik who are good and fine. But both, I think, are more likely to be a little bit more offensive, possibly a lot more offensive, because of the amount of points they put up in relative games and some of their stats. Cromins might go as well, 2-star right now, so he might go. So those centres might fall. Killian Gustafsson, I've got them both on list. I like them both. Blasser's definitely in for this, and then a goalie. But Blasser will play. The goalie's probably going to be a backup. We've got to think about this. Like, we've got Volstead, we got Gustafsson, we got Gibson. I really don't see a big need for that goalie. I'm not sure he's going to be there. I'm probably going to pick Tuonen, possibly, if he's there. Yeah, I'm going Blasser. 28th overall. Got to pick up my defender. Yeah, Peta went. A couple other people went. So Michkov went. Perot went. Ule, I liked all of those. Gustafsson did go. Yeah, Killian went. Okay. So there we go. We needed to scroll up a little bit. I was wondering where Tichy went to. So we got Forsen, we got Tichy and Tuonen. I'm probably going to gamble that that goalkeeper's going to be there. I'm also gambling that Tuonen might not have the potential, but he's more defensive. And that's kind of what we need right now. Let's get Tuonen in. Are we like 10 picks away almost? Tichy doesn't fall far enough for us. That gives me Forsen. That gives me my goalkeeper that we almost picked at like 28. He falls to double that. So, okay. So we got the offensive stud number one, who's probably going to cap at a second line centre, but that's perfectly fine by me. We've got the defensive forward, hopefully, in Tuonen. So that's a second and a third line, maybe, for us. So centre core is well taken care of now. We've got a long-term backup goalie prospect again. Don't expect too much out of Forsen, but he'll be decent. And who else did we go for? Blasser, which is a second or third pairing defenseman. Allows us to be more flexible with those right defensemen. And Hawley should be the next man off the board. Doesn't look like he's gonna be. So, Squally back. Yeah, most of my players went. Did anybody like drop a long way? They probably won't be in the 5th. Trying to look for names. Cernik? Did I like Cernik? I think I did. 4th round up to Columbus. You know, that's decent. Pavlin I quite liked. Looks like you can pick up a couple of decent players. late on. Not much. Not much. Third, fourth round, Morozov. I think I was actually quite high on him. Yeah. Okay, maybe we can keep some thirds and fourths in future, but I don't feel this was a particularly good draft at the top end. I don't believe it was a particularly sort of deep draft anywhere. I think centers was really good. Back end of the second, someone like Crummins, I'd be happy to take him. I think there's enough to work with. Draghi, not so much. Nope. Holly went 81. Lightfoot. Yeah, okay. Really decent sort of draft all in. I wonder what they're going to turn out to be. I wonder what they're actually going to turn out to be. So the unsigned draftees, we do have to sign Divine. Ardellini and Legkov would take care of the problem for next year. Who knows? But Bernard, Balassa, and then we went Tuonen and Forsum. So there's Bernard. 2.5, 4 stars. So he's better than Divine, Legkov, and Tuonen right now. So that was our number one overall, Connor Bernard. We'll see kind of where he ends up and what he ends up doing, but nice to see a young lad that's able to contribute. He's already a third liner. That'll be kind of interesting. Second pick we got was Balassa, so a year younger, but exactly the same really with Benz, who's 12s and an 11, 12s across the board. 11s with a 12, so he's a little bit behind, but he's a year younger, so he fits in exactly in case these guys don't pop. We've got another guy up. Then we went with Tuonen, who I think is a defensive player. So him and Divine, they could really, hopefully, help out there. He's got big physicality, big offense, but big physicality. Berad is a goal scorer. Legkov is a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure where he'd fit in, exactly where we could play him. I think Tuonen's defensive. Divine, probably a nice third liner with that offense, but still physicality. Tuonen maybe on the fourth line would work out really well, or move one of them, move Divine to the wing, and play him and Tuonen together. I'm quite happy with that. And then Forsen, a little bit more potential, a year younger than Ardellini, and a little bit more potential. So, I don't know, I feel pretty happy with those picks again. And when we leave them down there, we seem to uncover more potential. So, although Svensson, we still don't know. We've got no idea what Svensson is. Still an E on scouting, so, okay. I've got no idea. But overall, I think that's pretty. I got the one guy I wanted. Like I say, right now it looks like we got like a second pairing left defenseman. We got a third pairing right defenseman. We got a couple of fourth liners in Miroshnichenko. Wow, I always stumble. Legkov, and then we've got really second to third line players, depending how they grow over the course of the season, between Divine and now Bedard. So, yeah. No contracts to be done. Probably should call up Samblin and Fody, and then look at definitely Carlo leaving. Maybe Ludwig. Maybe Johnson. I don't know. I quite like Johnson. Maybe Sam Gerard. So Gerard out for Sandblad. Fody in then for Carlo. Maybe now we can trade Gustafsson as well. He's got to be on a high right now. He's done really well. His value will be up there. We trade Landeskog, and we've got Line and Zadina with Coyle on the third line. And then we'll figure out if Newhook goes back to the centre or not. But Berard can go in there. Zegras on the third line. Berard on the fourth line. Probably too good for it. Rocher on the second line. McKinnon up top. That means that Sebastian Aho is a hell of a piece to have to move. Jack Devine's in there as well. Does he move over to the right, maybe? And then we look at whether Bocage or Bocage, as I've heard him called, Bocage, and Count, they know up for trade again. We don't need to bring those guys up. Pinto, he can go anywhere. Joe second line. The first second line, even without Landeskog and Aho, I like that. So, Line McKinnon, Rantanen, Zadina, Rocher, and Jost. 2 3.5s with a 3. I like that. I do actually like that. Then Pinto, Zegras, and Coyle. I like that. Berard, perhaps Count on the left. So Count, Berard, and then Devine moves to the right. For a fourth line, Slavkovsky, Newhook as depth. Maybe. Oh. Or maybe Newhook stays there with Berard. Devine moves across, and then Count and Slavkovsky will be our backups. There's a whole lot to decide. Let me know if you think one way or another needs to be done. Byron misses the playoffs. We still win the cup without him, but he will be back and will be a force. Looking right now, we hold our 3 5-star players. Line A is ever so close to being number 4. Landeskog and Aho, my 2 4-stars, are probably both being traded. We might even trade Rocher to make things a bit clearer in attack. Micah Jost Gerard might be traded as well to open up the defense. Honestly, we could trade Zadina as well. Okay. So a bit of a hefty one there. Say we were going to trade out. If we didn't get the top 2, so I thought maybe there was a chance that defender would go number 1, and that would leave open the chance for us to go after who we really wanted in Berard. But being number 1 overall, we're okay. So if you'd have fallen down to 3 or 4, well, 3 I might have traded down. 4 I was definitely trading down. And then I was going after one of the wingers. So I got 3 that I really liked. Or Frohawk as well, the defender. So whichever one fell towards like 10 or 11 where I could get back in, that's what I would be doing. Upcoming RFAs. Best players on the block. Jack Hughes, and Kaliev, and Bokvist. Yeah. Yeah. If they don't sign, like, I'm probably going to have to go in on a couple of them. And potentially as well, goalie, Rodrigue. Harley, I need to take a good look at. Nazev, Ponomarev. I think we need to take a good look at those kind of players. Yeah, the ones that played the best. I mean, probably limited numbers for a lot of these guys, the goalies. But when we're looking at like younger players who can do a job, Jack Hughes straight away stands out. Absolutely stands out. Edmund played a decent amount of games, nearly 60 games. Got a decent rating. Got a little bit of potential. That might be an interesting one. So we can always just check, see how many games they played as well. Yeah, Jack Hughes. He's not done a lot yet. Okay. So let's go over to the re-sign stage end, which will be the 30th. And then we can go into July and see who's available in free agency that we might want to pick up. Okay, a pretty decent season. We don't quite round out on top of another point. So 50 would have been like more points. It's pretty decent though, 47. Not manager of the year, despite like hitting every other positive category. That's 9 whole points. 50 would have taken us to 10. Definitely going to throw in bunch in here. And then the rest in motivation. So there you go. We're kind of helping out. I don't know if we can go higher than 20s. No, we can't. So after 4 seasons in the NHL, we're known for our great deals. We're known for being sort of okay on disciplinarianism and our management of the roster and the team, and the player motivation as well, keeping everybody G'd up. We're off hands. We don't care. We're going to make big decisions which will get us fired or not, depending. Looks like Byram is back as well. And we've already started with the scout reports. Decent amount of 5 stars. Decent amount of 5 stars. The top end of that list for goalies. Could be a decent goalie. Even with only 4 picks, I'm still kind of set on taking a goalie every year or 2 every 3 years maybe. I'm still pretty set on that. Okay. So we need to take the Vine. We've got enough money to do these guys. So step 1. Step 2 is Sandblad. Why is it not possible? Ooh. Maybe I can do that one tomorrow. Connor Bernard's too young. Is that another tomorrow deal? Foudy, it's about time you stepped up into the NHL. So that's a center and a defender, and then another center and defender to come up later. And then we're going to get Legkov into the action. And we're going to get Miroshnichenko into the action. See why I didn't stumble when I didn't think about it? It's one of those names. Miro. Yeah. Don't know about these guys. Right now, I don't know about them. They're a possibility. Let's see. I got Berad, I got Fosen, I got Tuononen, and I got Balsa. Those are my 4 right there. Did I miss out on anybody I really wanted? Maybe Oldry, maybe Cuban on the wings. Frohawk in defense. But honestly, I'm happy with the 2 centers I got. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy. We got what we kind of needed at the end of the day. Okay. Let me just set up. Add some new rows. And throw these guys in and decide where we're going to make these moves. I'll be back once I have an idea of what we're going to do. Okay, I believe that we're in free agency. Resign stage is done. It's a chance to get some stars. Same time, I've got a list of players that I'm willing to give up. Oh boy, what a list. Oh boy, what a list. So last season's number 1, Gustafsson, he shouldn't have been, but he was. Ardellini, the long-term backup, I think we've got a better option there now. Sam Girard is tough to kind of explain, but like, I don't think he's a second-line player. He's going to cost too much. He already is. Byram's my number 1. I like him. Sandblad, I think, just replaces Girard right now. I don't think there's much of a downgrade at all. So really, we just cut 5 million out by getting rid of Sam Girard. Ludwig, solid depth, but Johnson, Broberg, I like those 2 players better. Svensson, again, odd man out, so we could trade him while the value's up there somewhere. On the right, Berglund, I did toy with Kel McCarr here, especially getting in Balassa, who I think is a solid 2-way player. Benz, I feel, is a 2-way player. Dobson's a 2-way player. And that means Fodey, McCarr, kind of a toss-up between those 2 guys, and I think I like Fodey a little more right now, based on where I think they'll fit in the lines and not being too overpowered, not paying out too much money. Plus, I think McCann's got a hell of a trade value, and we might want to capitalize on that. So, for now, keeping McCann, but not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. So, yeah, we'd probably go with Gibson and Wallstead in goals. Forson as backup, not signed. Byron, Sandblad, Johnson and Broberg all on the left, and then Dobson, McCarr and Fowdy on the right. Benz and Balassa will be the backups. Then looking at left wing, Landy and Newhook out. I don't think their future lies with us at this point. Landy got his cup. Great. Thank you for your service. Let's find you someone new to play. We'll go with Liney on the first wing. Zadina on the second. Might look at bringing up Miroshnichenko for a little bit of depth there. And Coyle as well. I'm really not sure if I want to put someone else on the left or not from the centre core. But Landskog and Newhook, I think, are okay to get rid of right now. We've got Nate McKinnon and Theo Rocher as a great-looking 1 and 2 punch down the middle, so Sebastian Aho can go. Devine, I like him. We're just about to try and sign him. But that'll probably be a sign to trade, as Zegras is someone I just kind of rate higher. And Bertad, we just drafted 1 overall, so we're not going to be sort of getting rid of him. Tuonen is a long-term sort of 4th, 3rd liner. I kind of like him as a 2-way player. And Legkov, maybe we get rid of Legkov. I really don't know right now. I I think if we're getting rid of as many players as we are right now, we should be okay to hold on to him just as an extra and not sign him and not put him in the first team. Now on the right-hand side, I'm toying with Jost, but he's got his cup with us. Rantanen's still number one, of course. I want to see what else is about. But yeah, Count I see as a two-way player. Pinto I see as a two-way player. So really, because we're so offensive on the left, there's not a lot of defensive players really on that left-hand side. And that goes as well for defenders, like Byram, Sandblad, Broberg. Broberg might be a defensive player. Thinking about Johnson, kind of a two-way player, but Byram and Sandblad are two very offensive players. And then, Kemakar, Dobson is more of a two-way player than just offense. Fody's probably my second attacking right-sided defenseman. But Benz, Blasa, Dobson, I like those defensively. I think we'll be okay. So right-hand side defensive, left-hand side more attacking. As much two-way as we can get down the middle as possible. I think McKinnon does a decent job of that. He's not great at it, but he does a decent job. And yeah, I think everybody else kind of fits in that. Legkov's very much offensive. So we'll see if there's a place that opens up for him long term or whether or not he'll be a trade bait. But getting rid of Tyson Jost, I think then, at that stage, I'm probably going Pinto on line 2. I'm probably going Martin Kaut on line 3. Slavkovsky on line 4. And then Leshevsky for depth, perhaps there's what I'm thinking right now. But that also means then long-term Bocage and Lejonheim, I'm not sure make it. So I'm going to keep this little list to one side of players that I can just trade as and when I see fit. Fody's developed. We got Devine, his contract. We got Fody getting his deal. Legkov getting his deal. And Mirosh getting his deal. So, like I say, Mirosh and Fody will go into the first team. The other two will probably be one to be traded, one to be in the AHL. Okay, very happy. Reached the playoffs. We dominated. Everything's the same. Our budget, I think, went up. Everything seems to be good. We got a high active roster now. McKinnon's new deal kicked in. That's 11.8, I think. Unless I'm wrong on that. I think it's 11.8, so he's almost doubled his salary. Which means as well, people like Landeskog, Jost. I think Landy's on 8. Aho's on 8, so that's 16 right there. Jost, that's another 3. Gerard's another 5, so that's 24. Plus a couple for Gustafsson and whatnot. Probably 30 million in total with the players we're getting rid of. So that'll bring us right back down. It'll also open up a couple of spots maybe. We can throw people down like Mirosh won't be ready, so he's playing AHL. Who else? Tuonen, if we called him up, Legkov, they'd both be sent down to the AHL. Bedard should be okay. Leshevsky probably sent down. So yeah, really, when you look at it that way, there's spots maybe as well. I don't know. I go back and forth on it as always. Okay. Doesn't look to be too much in the way of goalies. I think we've seen one there. Okay. Fairly deep. There's plenty of like 3s in this mix. I'm okay with that. Looks to be more offensive than the bottom end of this list. Kind of more even. A little bit more offense, but kind of even throughout the top end of the draft. And Maxim Yevgrafov could be okay. If we got it, would we go to him early? Stigson. I mean, looks decent. Balog a little bit less so. Rudnick's probably offensive. And, ooh, Jess Dupuis. We got a high pick, but not a great pick. Dupuis might be the guy. Dupuis might be the guy. It's another center. We need to clear up that depth as we go. Delete all messages. Just get rid of the red tag. So we've got deals to do. So Roche's going to want to get paid. Eho's going to get traded. Zigras is going to be okay. Jost is going to get traded. Newhook's going to get traded, so we don't need to worry there. Coyle, probably a 3 million deal, 4 million deal at most. Couple of million, maybe $1 million for these guys. Let's see. Can we again? Are they out the contract now? Yes. Sandblad out of contract. Let's get him up. And then Bedard. There's his deal. I'm going to wait on the others just now. Okay, I'm going to bring Miro up. I'm going to bring Legkov up to trade. Divine, those two go into the reserves. He's in the first team. Sambler's in the first team. Bedard's in the first team. Possibly could do Tuonen. You're going to be traded. I might as well trade your rights. Shevsky, I think we're keeping for long term, so I can hold on to you where you are. I don't think we need to sign any of the others. Okay, so I've got my numbers right. I do have about 3 spots I can put people into. So, what's about? What is about? Jack Hughes signs. We knew he would. We knew he would. Nazev signs. A couple others. Kaliev signs. Okay. Georgiev is the big guy on there. I don't know if I want to make that move. Fody, sure. And Rodrigue, Bjornfoot. Rodrigue and Bjornfoot really. Oh. So Hughes went, Nazev went. Kaliev went and re-signed as well. Bodine, Bokvist, Bouchard, they all went and re-signed. But there still might be a goaltender. There might be a goaltender. And that then would be easy to say goodbye to Gustafsson and Volstead. If he's not ready, he can go back into the AHL. Forsen is unsigned. It doesn't mess things up. Then Bjornfoot at left defense. That would mess things up. Sandblad comes up. Byram, Johnson, and Broberg. I'd have to probably trade one of those. I'm definitely trading Johnson then. Yeah, if we got Bjornfoot, I could trade Johnson. But I wonder what they want. See, outstanding. Okay, solid. Doesn't seem to be anything crazy there. A little bit of offense with Bjornfoot, but fairly well-rounded. Okay. I don't mind that. Rodrigue, there's not going to be much you can see with him. Yeah, got some weaknesses, but could be good, and we don't know anything about him. Okay. Well, I guess it's all down to the contracts they want, and really what we think we can do with the other people around them. We are fairly over budget, but that will solve itself. So maybe it's worth bringing people in. Georgiev. We looked at him. We didn't want him last year. But I'm just thinking. Mentally great. Goalie rating not too bad. Him and Gustafsson fairly similar, but he's better. Top player. Outstanding. Like, I don't know if I want to make that move and then get Gibson out. I'm probably bringing back picks. I'm probably not going to bring back prospects or top players. I really don't think we need to, so... Okay, let me go and figure this out, and then we'll get on to the contracts and end this as we approach the hour mark. Okay, so Bjornfoot... Yeah, you want real money, and it costs us draft picks, so no. Rodrigue. Just as backup, that cheap. I mean, honestly, we can do that. Probably to trade in the future, but to play backup right now, I'm okay with that. Than George, if you're going to want big, yeah, no. Nope. Not interested. Okay, so Rodrigue may come in. Got a bunch of people on cheap. And we're going to drop down. So let's see. So we're 15.5 million over cap right now. Bunch of those players come off. We're probably down to, say, 12 million. We fit under the cap with Landy and Aho. The rest, yeah, we might not meet the cap floor if we do a couple of things the way I think we're going to make them. So then we'd hold on to Tyson Jost. Yeah, then we'd hold on to Jost. Okay. So going day by day to see what news there is and who comes back with what. But I think that's it. I think only that goalie is a decent one that maybe we can trade at the next year's draft or just plays backup and frees up Gustafsson. More money there. Gives us flexibility on what we want to do and how we want to bring people back in. So we'll see. We'll see. We won't be quite as deep or quite as good as last season, but we really don't need to be. We need to be better in defense. So Sandblad, contract there. Berad's deal. And he's already getting a better deal elsewhere. It's an entry deal. Like, I don't get why another team is able to offer him more than me when I can't break the entry rules with a contract and, like, they supposedly can. Little disappointed with that. But okay. Move that contract. And then looks like just internationals. So no free agency for us then. It's just those guys coming up, and then I got to work out my roster, do some trades. We'll explore that in the next video, the start of Season 5. defending our status as Stanley Cup champions. Hopefully getting a bit better on defense, because we've got offensive defensemen, but hopefully getting a bit better on defense. And then hopefully a better defensive forward core. So I think that's been missing. I do think that's been missing. So join me then to find out. Until then, take care of yourselves. Thanks very much for watching. As always, we'll see you back here soon for more FHM6. See you guys.